I know you love earning travel rewards and cash back, and that's why you're going to love Rakuten. With Rakuten, you can earn cash back on everything you need to book your dream trip, hotels, flights, rental cars, experiences, and more, while still booking through your favorite travel sites. And don't worry, cash back can be earned on top of earning the credit card points and the hotel and airline loyalty points that matter most to you, depending on how you make your booking. Plus, with Rakuten, you can also earn cash back on groceries and other purchases like electronics, pet supplies, and more. And the best part, you can join today for free and start earning cash back on top of your travel rewards. Go to Rakuten.com or get the app. That's Rakuten, Rakuten. Rakuten, the most rewarding way to shop. All right, number 2, yours.
We're on number 2 here. Okay.
I know.
I'm on my number 1. This is my number 1.
Is this your? Yeah, this is your number 1. That's right, because my number 1's coming up next.
Yes. We're gonna do another podcast on counting to 5.
You're listening to the Zero to Travel podcast, where we explore exciting travel-based work, lifestyle, and business opportunities, helping you to achieve your wildest travel dreams. And now your host, world wanderer and travel junkie, Jason Moore.
Hey there, it's Jason with ZeroToTravel.com. Welcome to the show, my friend. Thank you so much for hanging out, letting me bring a little travel into your ears today. Travel and music today. This is the show to help you travel the world on your terms, to fill your life with as much travel as you desire, no matter what your situation or experience. And I am sitting here in my buddy, my brother from another mother, my best bud. It's a cafe. Actually, it's not a cafe. He just happened to make me a fancy coffee on his stove. And I guess you're still not back, Jay, are you? He's in the other room, rummaging around for something. He's probably still putting together his list. We have got a very important list for you today. Very important to us anyway. I think you're going to have a good time with it. We're giving you our top 10 road trip albums. And when it comes to travel and music, first of all, let's say hi to Jason. He's actually back. What were you hunting for, man?
My list.
Your list. Oh my gosh! Don't show it to me.
It's such an important list, and I had it on such an important piece of paper that it was importantly misplaced. But we have it now.
Oh, I never do that. You actually have a song for your wallet when it's missing, right? Do you want to just start this off with a little musical rendition? When Jason loses his wallet, this is the song.
Where's my wallet? Where's my wallet? It works. It's foolproof every time.
When I was living in Jason and his wife Kelly's basement, I heard that more than a few times. Anyway, we're so excited to bring you this trip, top 10 road trip albums. And Jason actually runs a website with his wife called Festy, GoNuts.com. So you might have heard him on a podcast before. It's all about festivals and travel, music festivals and travel, and we can expand on that in a little bit. And I think one of the big reasons we wanted to do this episode was I've always thought about this, Jay, with travel and music. I can't think of anything that's more infused with travel besides like travel writing or guidebooks or like things that are explicitly for travel than music, because inherently musicians and artists travel, like that's what they do. So it has to bleed in, right?
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, the travel and music, without travel, I don't think we would have music the way it is. I mean, sure, there's recorded music, but recorded music is so much based on the live music experience that, like you said, is all formulated around traveling musicians.
Yeah, and then there's the lifestyle of being a musician. So when you're living that life, you're on the road. I've done it as a tour manager. You've done it as a touring professional, managing events, and now going to different festivals all over the place. It is a different kind of lifestyle, and it has to bleed into the music. And speaking of lifestyle, we are going to ask you later on after we hear our album list about your location-independent lifestyle, how it's working for you to build this FestyGoNuts.com business, and then you have like a marketing business, sort of like your main thing. So like it's just a different way to approach things. And I'm just bringing it up now because I want you to stick around for that at the end. Jay, let's get into this list because Jason and I could probably jam on music for about 14 hours straight, but we only have about 40 minutes to go in this podcast, so we need to get into this. First of all, when you were developing this list, like what was, I can tell you my idea, but what was the thinking behind it for you?
So road trip albums, there's a couple things. There's a little blend of this throughout my list. There are albums that make me feel and like reminiscent of the road.
Right.
Something that I can hear anytime and it makes me want to hit the road. And then there's ones that I will just go to listen to because while I'm driving, they make me feel good. And then there's just the, simple to keep me awake or keep me entertained.
Okay,
There's certain albums that...
The practicality.
Right, the practicality. There are albums where I know every word to every song, and if I put those albums on, I can have an hour of road time completely disappear because I'm just singing, and before you know it, you're halfway through Kansas.
Mm-hmm. And this might sound a little old school to some of you who maybe grew up in more of the Spotify era where you're just curating, say, playlists or tracks. We're, I guess, going old school in this way where we're taking the entire album as a piece of art. Right?
Yeah.
And... the same as you, man. Like, I mean, I didn't think about the practical aspect of staying awake and things like that, but my list is definitely very personal, and therefore, like, I spent a lot of years on the road, and it was some years ago, so mine might fall under a certain era, but also, I think there's like a timeless quality to some of the songs in these albums, and we're going to talk about that a little bit, and also, it can't not be personal, right? So I tried to bridge that sort of universality of... You can go and listen to these albums and you're going to get it, but also it is a personal list.
Yeah, there's a couple here that many of your listeners may not be aware of, but they should go check them out. So.
Yeah.
But then there's some that everybody will know. So.
And Jason, thank you, introduces me to a lot of new music that we've gotten into lately, my wife and I, and you and Kelly both.
And vice versa.
Yeah, so, all right, well, let's get into it, man. Do you want to kick it off with number 5? And we're doing these in order, even though we can't possibly rank these albums, but we're going to each give you 5, and neither of us knows each other's list, and we're just going to go back and forth. So music lovers, get ready to get pumped up.
Yeah. Sure. All right.
Kick it off, my man.
Drum roll or just...
Yeah, Chris, if you're editing this right now, throw in a little drum roll, please. I mean, why not?
Why not? So, all right. This is a throwback, and this is one that I know for a fact, are going to appreciate. It might even be on your list. Certainly from my older days, but a timeless album I could listen to over and over. I do know every word of it. People's Instinctive Travels in the Paths of Rhythm by a Tribe Called Quest.
Oh, man.
And now a lot of fans of Tribe Called Quest, they go to Low End Theory, Beach Rhymes, but People's Instinctive Travels, their very first album, to me, every single track on that album is amazing. It is an album. Like, it is meant to be listened to from start to finish in the order that it was produced in.
Mm-hmm.
And I put that on if I'm driving and I am rapping, singing along to everything. I mean, the journey that you go on through that album from, Footprints going into El Segundo, and then, of course, Can I Kick It, like getting you all pumped up while you're cruising down the highway. It's one of the best.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about the intro piece to that album.
Right.
It's kind of like the baby crying, and it's this building, and you are going on some kind of a journey. That's a great one. I may, in fact, have... a little Tribe Called Quest on my honorable mentions.
Okay.
I mean, I was so close to putting them in the top 5, but, and that's not the album actually I chose. But we'll give honorable mentions at the end.
Absolutely.
Dude, what a solid kickoff,
right?
Man. That's insane.
Yeah.
By the way, on my list, very personal one for you and I.
Yes.
I'm going to tease that out. That's coming later.
Okay.
All right. Should I hit into my number 5?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, well, I've reordered my list about 16 times since we started talking.
I'm actually
10 minutes
ordering
ago.
it as we're talking, so...
I'm going to guess that you're not a fan of this album. I don't know why.
Is it Third Eye Blind?
You might. No, it's not Third Eye Blind, although we have a funny joke about Third Eye Blind. And they do have one pretty great album that I have listened to before.
Okay.
A few times. It's so funny. No, this album is one that I found early on. I'm actually going to tell you when it came out. Here, I'm going to look this up while we're kind of talking about it. The MTV Unplugged series. Do you remember that series on MTV
course,
where
yes.
bands would come in and they would play? They were plugged in, but there was essentially like acoustic type performances. The 10,000 Maniacs MTV Unplugged album.
Amazing album.
An amazing album, right? And I guess it was recorded in 93. It was released October 26, 1993, according to Wikipedia. And I love that album, with the exception of, I think it's like track number 2. There's a song called E for 2, and I'll usually skip that one.
Okay.
But overall, that album, to me, it's something about Natalie Merchant's voice, and it's an album I can throw on, and it just, the guy comes on, he's like, all right, let's get ready. It's time to introduce Natalie and 10,000 Maniacs, and like the crowd cheers.
Right.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it. And the album comes on, and it's just awesome. And one of my biggest memories from that album is track 6, Hey Jack Kerouac.
Yeah.
All about Jack Kerouac. And I think, like, all right, going into San Francisco and West Coast just really gives me like this feeling of being in San Francisco during the Beat era. And I don't know, there's something about this whole album that just really speaks to me. I don't really know.
And you know, just saying how we could do this forever, because now that you say that, I'm like, oh yeah, I certainly could have included Our Time in Eden on this list.
Oh yeah, okay.
Their studio album, Our Time in Eden, is one of my absolute favorites and a great driving album.
Yeah. We'll get back to the interview in just a moment. I know you love earning travel rewards and cash back, and that's why you're going to love Rakuten. With Rakuten, you can earn cash back on everything you need to book your dream trip, hotels, flights, rental cars, experiences, and more, while still booking through your favorite travel sites. And don't worry, cash back can be earned on top of earning the credit card points and the hotel and airline loyalty points that matter most to you, depending on how you make your booking. Plus, with Rakuten, you can also earn cash back on groceries and other purchases like electronics, pet supplies, and more. And the best part, you can join today for free and start earning cash back on top of your travel rewards. Go to Rakuten.com or get the app. That's Rakuten, Rakuten. Rakuten, the most rewarding way to shop. Now, back to the show.
All right, number 4, Jay, for you.
Okay, well, we are reordering here a couple because the honorable mentions are going to get picked up a little bit. You are going to know some personal feelings about this one, too. I'll set the scene. Teenage Jason Moore and Jason Law driving to the beach in probably 1992. We're not that old, but... and as we would arrive,
yes, we are.
smelling the salt water and the ocean air, for some reason, we always were listening to the Violent Femmes and just their self-titled Violent Femmes album. Every single song on there is a sing-along. Every single song sparks something inside of you. It is, from start to finish, track for track, absolutely fantastic. Brings up so many memories of that time with you, Jay, but also just so many times. And it is just, it's just one of the best.
I mean, let's go with the track list right here. Blister in the Sun, Kiss Off, Please Do Not Go, Add It Up, Confessions, Prove My Love, Promise, To the Kill, Gone Daddy Gone, Good Feeling. All standing the test of time.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Looks like I'm going to have to swap out my number 3.
Okay. And you know what? I almost didn't put that. That was just an audible. That wasn't
really?
even on my list.
It was an audible for me too, actually. Yeah.
So I was like, because I thought you might pick it, but that's okay, you know.
Yeah, no, that's okay because I had another one for that slot.
Okay, good.
But like Jason said, we have very strong memories to this album. I distinctly remember shaking a Snapple bottle, accidentally having the top off and spraying it all over your car, which was stained forever while that album was on.
It was actually my mom's car.
Your mom's car, sorry.
Yes. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Mom's convertible.
But yeah, that album, I mean, just to talk about it and riff on it for another second, Blister in the Sun, like when that song comes on, you're just...
Right.
You're on a road trip.
Yeah, and I don't care how many times you've heard that song. I don't care. You know, I'm a pretty hardcore Violent Femmes fan, and sometimes like I have feelings about that song that you hate to see a band with such an extensive catalog be pigeonholed into, some people consider them a one-hit wonder, and they are so much bigger than that.
So much bigger.
So sometimes I have mixed feelings about that song because of that, but that doesn't stop me from just feeling awesome when that song comes on.
Listen, do yourself a favor if you haven't heard this album and put it on. I don't care if you're on a road trip or if you're just driving to work in your morning commute. You could even stop listening to this podcast right now and just put that album on and just give it a listen and do it while you're behind the wheel and see how you feel. Or if you don't have a car, like I don't have a car, I live in Europe right now.
Don't go searching for it while you're
you can
behind
get
the
the
wheel.
same sort of road trip feeling like while you're on a train. Or just moving in a bus or whatever. It doesn't have to be behind the wheel, but the idea is that you're in motion, you're listening to this, and you're traveling. So,
and while you're at it, jump down the Violent Femmes rabbit hole, get into their dark stuff in Hallowed Ground, and Yeah, you
Jump down the rabbit hole, man. All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to go with my number 4. That was fantastic. So actually, this was my number 4, but I'm going to sub it out because I had a last-minute
Sure.
audible as well. So we have to keep this list fresh. And my number 4 is a little bit of a cheat here. It's a combination, but one of the same artists. I got Pearl Jam Versus and Into the Wild, the Eddie Vedder soundtrack for the motion picture Into the Wild.
right.
Versus probably just because of Rearview Mirror. This song Rearview Mirror is like, it's just a classic Pearl Jam song, and it's all about sort of leaving a place behind and just hitting the road. And it's one of my favorite Pearl Jam albums. Probably one of my favorite albums in general.
Into the Wild,
And
holy,
Into the Wild. I mean, talk about travel, man. You were playing on the guitar the other night. You played Tulum. Is that the song that you play? Or?
No, I believe I was playing Guaranteed.
Okay. Oh yeah, Guaranteed. Right. I was looking at the track list to the Into the Wild soundtrack, which, if you're a traveler, you might be familiar with the movie. It's a story of Chris McCandless. He was a guy that basically got rid of all his possessions, burned up his driver's license and all his IDs, and just went off into the wild, essentially.
It ended well for him, if I recall, right? That was, I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't seen the
Well,
movie.
we won't talk too much about the movie, but the track listing, track number 1, Setting Forth.
Yeah.
It's like Setting Forth the Universe, far behind, leaving everything far behind. There's so much travel in this album, it's ridiculous. The last song is called End of the Road. And Guaranteed, Guaranteed is the last song.
Awesome pick.
Yeah?
Yeah, oh, fantastic. I love that album, and to be honest, I listened to that album a lot. I've definitely listened to it on the road a lot, and I listened to that on the road for different feelings of just it being such a good album. Again, a sing-along, every song I'm emotionally invested in, but I hadn't really even made the connection of how much travel is within the lyrics of that, which is just a whole nother layer of it.
Yeah, my favorite lyric from that album, and one of my favorite songs, maybe my favorite song, and Rise, you know that song, Rise?
Absolutely.
And he says, gonna rise up, turning mistakes into gold. I
Yeah.
love that. It's like a redemption,
How about Rise Up, Find My Direction Magnetically?
yeah. I
Amazing.
got chills up
Yeah.
and down my spine just thinking about
He does.
this album.
Ladies
right
and
now.
gentlemen,
I literally
I
look,
can see
you see the goosebumps. See the hair standing
I
up?
see the goosebumps.
See the hair stand up? I'm a little chilly too.
Yeah,
I'm sitting by
he
the
is
door.
sitting next to the
No, I
window.
do get music does that to me, man.
Absolutely.
And Rise is one of the songs, and that whole idea of just redemption on the road. I mean, as a traveler, do you ever feel that emotion where you're hitting the road and it's some kind of weird fresh start or something?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, travel has so many connotations of starting over, of just new chapters. I mean, when I moved to Colorado, I drove here from Ocean City, Maryland, and I wish I knew what the first thing I listened to. I had a cassette player in the car back then, but I guarantee you I had a stack of cassettes ready to go for a 20-hour ride.
Yeah.
That, it was I purposely picked out my 10 favorites, and it's new beginnings. There's so much about traveling.
It's awesome. And traveling music doesn't get any better, right?
Right.
All right, let's go to your number. We're on your number 3 now. All right.
All right, yeah, let's go for a number 3 here. I'm going to go with American Beauty, Grateful Dead.
Ooh.
And so, as a Grateful Dead fan, a lot of fans...
You're going with a recorded album,
Right.
not a live one.
Absolutely. And a lot of fans, right, that's what I was going to say. With the Dead, I mean, so much of the Grateful Dead is surrounded their live music, and there are hundreds and hundreds of
Right.
that concert recordings that are available. But as far as a studio album,
Yeah.
it is... You'll be hard-pressed to find one with a better collection of music on it than American Beauty.
Yeah.
I mean, you start off with
fantastic.
Box of Rain, go into Friend of the Devil, and Sugar Magnolia. I mean, Dead fan or
Triple
not...
punch.
Right? Dead fan or not, you have got to have some appreciation for that. And then, to me, nothing said... Okay, Road Trip, and I know you have a lot of international listeners. However, for me, it's a very American thing because I've traveled throughout the world, but my driving road trips have all been in the United States.
Right.
I mean, the title American Beauty, but just the music on there and the Grateful Dead representing Americana and that feeling of just getting out and traveling and being in our country. And the Grateful Dead, there was no better traveling band than the Grateful Dead and their fans that would live on the road with them for years at a time. This album just does it all for me on the road, without a doubt.
I mean, trucking.
Right. Yeah.
Is it maybe one of the greatest all-time travel songs?
Possibly, yeah.
And that's the last song on this album.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's...
That's an awesome pick. I mean, if you're not a Grateful Dead fan, what's wrong with you?
right?
What are you doing?
But
You're
yeah,
missing out.
good point about. I mean, trucking. Like seriously, what a road trip song. I
Yeah.
mean,
If you're going to collect like the top 50 road trip songs ever created,
right, which
I
that's
mean,
another podcast, I suppose.
yeah. Maybe we
Yeah,
should.
that will
might
finish
be
with
another one.
Steppenwolf probably, but you know, it's
I don't know. The top on that list might have to be On the Road, Willie Nelson.
yeah,
right?
possibly. I
but-
don't know, but Born to Be Wild comes on and you just start pedal to the metal.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's true. All right, we're getting off track. This is what happens.
yeah,
But
American Beauty, like amazing.
I'm like staring at the track list now, and like
Yeah. I'm wondering if that should have been my number one. I'm kind of ordering here on the fly.
that
because-
is
but
good.
That's okay.
That is good. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you my number 3, which is an album you may not be very familiar with, but I am very familiar with because I was actually the tour manager for the band.
Oh, of course, yeah.
When they were on tour playing the album, and that's Matt and Kim Grand. And the reason why I chose this is because, well, it's very personal to me. Like, this was my experience working as a tour manager in music with a band that I loved, getting to see them play every night, getting to be a part of a show like that. And you know this, like when you cover shows and different things, like even if you're a small part of it, like they're the artist, they're on stage, they have the music. There's other people that help make that happen. To be able to like give a live music experience to people and be a little part of that and have something that they're going to remember. And they
Right.
put on such an amazing
And was
show.
this was the particular album they were promoting on that tour?
Yeah. Well, they would play a lot of tracks from this album.
This was their
And-
new album on that tour.
Yeah, and they lived on Grand Street in an apartment. So when we would go back to New York City, like in between gigs, or like we did like a van tour in Canada, we did a bus tour before that. We would go back to their place in Brooklyn, and I would like stay at their apartment, and it was on Grand Street. The album's called Grands, and to me, this could have been my number one for me personally. I didn't make it my number one because it's not like universal, but it just brings me right back to being on the road with them and being a part of this really amazing thing that they were doing in a certain time in their careers, a certain time in my life that just meant a lot to me. And this was like probably the hardest job I ever had to leave because I had so much fun with it. But it's actually, I could say this was one of the genesises
Genocide?
of what I'm doing now, because after getting off tour with them, I was like, all right, if I'm going to not go on like a world tour with them, there's no way I'm not going to do something cool. Like I have to do
Right.
something cool because I'm not going to go from this amazing experience getting to like, they play a Jimmy Kimmel show, like being the backstage,
Right.
all these places, seeing awesome band play, and just like go and work in a cubicle. I can't do it.
And
like,
what represents musical travel more than the fact that you actually were the traveling tour manager for artists? I mean, that's amazing. You were on the road, living it, doing it, going to shows, doing all this. And this is the soundtrack that brings you back to that
It
memory.
brings me back
yeah.
in second. Like
Awesome.
not even in a second, a split second. And the first song, Daylight, is probably their most popular. In the daylight, we can hitchhike to Maine. I mean, that says it all right there. All right,
Great.
Jay, you're number 2.
My number 2. Okay. I might get off the track to ones that people don't know about here too much. I'm going to have to throw it out here. This is, let's go with Blind Melon, Soup.
Ooh.
Now, Blind Melon is another band, kind of like the
That's your
Violent
number 2.
Femmes, where, you know, people hear Blind Melon, they're like, oh, the Bumblebee song. Man,
Right.
this band, if Shannon Hoon hadn't passed away at the age of 28, they would be a household name. And Soup is one that it's
Second
just,
studio album.
yeah, it's not the one that has the song everybody knows, but man, it is chock full of just different tunes, like their range from like kind of bluegrassy to rock to funk all over the place. It is an album that when I roll down the windows and I'm singing along to Soup, like there's nothing better in the world with that. Like
What a feeling. I have never listened to this album.
it's fantastic. The song Walk is one of my absolute favorites. Yeah, it's just from song
Do you have like a lyric that stands out that sort of maybe...
Let me think off the top of my head. No. I mean, yes, but on the spot,
Right.
I'm not thinking of it
Right.
right now. Yeah, it's just, as a whole, it is such an amazing collection of music that just, yeah, put it on your list. Put it on your list when listeners and you, Jay, just try this out.
Yes.
I'd love for more people to be exposed to Blind Melon and realize they're a lot more than the Bumblebee song. They actually hated that song. So-
I'm listening to this today.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? Because I'm on Wikipedia as we go through these, and I'm looking at the track listing, and they have a total length here, 48 minutes and 14 seconds. I'm just like, think about how powerful music is. Think about what you do in 48 minutes sometimes. Like, hours just fly by.
Yeah.
And it's just like, to create something like that can live on. You know,
Right.
sadly, Shannon Hoon died early, but this music lives on. It's I don't know, it's such a beautiful thing.
Round the corner and in between the trees, I need to be on top of a mountain where I can see everything. Yeah. There's a lot of that. I mean, he was a great lyricist, great artist. I encourage people to check him out. Like, really underappreciated, awesome band.
Shannon Hoon, vocals, guitar, harmonica, kazoo.
Kazoo. Oh, yeah.
Kazoo.
He plays the
Plays
kazoo,
the kazoo.
on, I believe, is Skinned on here. Yeah, Skinned. Amazing song about Jeffrey Dahmer. Kazoo tune. Great song about Jeffrey
Kazoo
Dahmer.
tune. All
and,
right.
you know, great traveling mass murderer. I believe he
Oh, boy.
went all over the country with that. so.
That's terrible. My interest is peaked though in this album.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
My number 2. I mean, I could make this my number 1. It's probably my number 2 just for one song. I can think of many times that I went on a road trip and the first song I put on was Where the Streets Have No Name
Oh, yeah.
by U2, which is one track on Joshua Tree. Now, obviously a very critically acclaimed album, one that many people love, millions of people love, and that's probably won Grammys and stuff like that. I don't have all the information in front of me, but just for that song,
Absolutely.
just for that song with that build and that guitar driving and that bass line coming in, it's road trip all over.
You got to
like,
watch your
for me.
speed
It's-
limit when that starts coming in. Like
Oh.
your foot's gonna start getting heavy when that drops. I mean, it's
Yeah, to add a little bit to that, I'll throw in another U2 album, and this is cheating a little bit, but you know, Joshua Tree's the main one, but All That You Can't Leave Behind was a song, an album that I listened to that came out right before I went to Ireland for the first time, and I was traveling around there for 3 weeks, and I just wanted to bring this up because listening to U2, a new U2 album, which that's a very good album, while you're traveling around Ireland there's something to listening to an artist where, like, it'd be like if you were from Europe and you came to America and you took a road trip and you put on American Beauty, right? You're just like, you're experiencing an artist from that country, how they see it, how they portray it, and there's the travel elements and everything, and there's something like really special about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that is, oh man, that is such a good album. Like, yeah, love it. Good choice.
We'll get back to the interview in just a moment. Now, back to the show.
All right, number 2, yours.
We're on number 2 here. Okay.
I know.
Are we sure? Am I on number 2? I kind of have not been keeping
Let's see.
track
Well,
yet.
let's recap your list here.
Okay.
What do we got?
Well, let's see. I started with People's Instinctive Travels.
Yep.
I went into, where did I go next from that? Did I go right into American Beauty from that?
Your Violent Femmes.
Oh, no, Violent Femmes,
Yeah.
then American Beauty, then Blind Melon Soup. I'm on my number 1. This is my number 1. That's
Oh,
what
is
I-
this your? Yeah, this
Yeah,
is your number
this is my
1. That's
number
right,
one.
because my
Yes.
number 1's coming up
Yes.
next.
Yes,
Oh,
we're gonna do another podcast on counting to 5 and tips
when
and
you go
tricks to
back
do
and
that.
forth like this, it's a little
Right? No, I know, and I'm not going in order of my list here anyway. Well, my number 1. We are going to get to some honorable mentions, right? 'Cause
Yes,
there's been-
absolutely.
My number 1 road trip album, and this is again an album. This is start to finish. I think it's illegal to listen to this out of order. You go start to finish on this, and when
You will be arrested
when
if you listen to this
when
out of
it
order.
oh man, when it kicks in, and you are on the road. That's Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, wow.
It's Dark Side of the Moon, and you talk about traveling. Well, so for me, and I don't know how many people are familiar with the concept of Dark Side of the Rainbow, but this was a big thing in college where, if you've never done it, look it up. It's the Dark Side of the Moon album perfectly syncs up with Wizard of Oz, and it's
if
a
you
thing.
start it on the third Lion's
The third
Roar.
Lion's Roar, you
right?
press play, yeah. And so, I mean, this amazing
Who
album.
found that out? By the way,
someone
like, who is that person? If anybody knows,
right?
drop
yes.
me a line on
Yeah.
Twitter or something. Or
Right.
send me a
the mythology of that. It's really freaky and awesome. But so that album always kind of has been tied up with that in my head. I mean, I knew the album before I ever did that, but it's forever tied up with the Wizard of Oz with me. And I mean, what is more travel oriented than that?
Yeah.
And as the tornado's coming to take Dorothy away, and the crescendo of On the Run is reaching its peak, and she lands in Oz as the cha-ching and the bass line of Money come in.
Right.
I mean, there's
Right.
so much wonder to that.
Wow.
And then when I I evoke those feelings when I'm driving. The best thing, I've actually driven through Kansas with amazing, huge storms and tornado watches all on the horizon while listening to that album. And that's some of the memories I have of that, like driving through potential tornadoes while this is playing.
Wow.
And every track on this album, I mean, it's just classic Pink Floyd.
Yeah, that's amazing. What a awesome number one. My number one.
I was just peeking ahead to see. But.
Yeah, well, I don't want this to be a cheat because I tried not to include like a greatest hits album, but there were two. One's an honorable mention that I need to throw out there, and this one is my number one. It has to be for me. It just has to be. And every time I introduce somebody to this album, it was introduced to me on my very first tour when I started working in an event industry, and I went on tour, and this guy put on this album, and I was like, whoa, this is. Wow, I'm on the road now. This is like, and now I got a soundtrack to this, and this is a thing. And I introduced it to my wife when we went on our honeymoon. We did a road trip around Colorado, and she got way into it. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Bob Seger's greatest hits.
Oh, boy.
Bob Seger's greatest hits. Look at this track list, Jay.
Oh,
Roll Me Away, Night Moves, Turn the Page.
Right.
Here I am on the road again.
Turn the Page, if we were doing the top songs for road trips, that would be in the top 5.
Yeah, it has
easily,
to be, right? You'll Accompany Me, Hollywood Nights, still the same. Old Time Rock and Roll, don't love that one. Against the Wind, it's like like a rock. I know it got played out a little bit during those truck commercials for a while, but after that went away and you hear it again, you're like, wow, what a like an interesting idea for a song.
Man. That is and that's just, again, I know this is, you have international listeners and road trips can happen anywhere, but because we grew up here in the States, our road trips happened in the States, and this is an American album.
Yeah, and this is an album I have listened to so many times on the road that I'll just, all right, I'm hitting the road. Here we go. I might start off with Where the Streets Have No Name, turn that off, and then go right into Bob Seger's greatest hits, especially out west. If you just listen to the first track on that album, you'll be like, oh, I get it. Like, I get this. So,
awesome. Excellent. Yeah.
What a list, man.
What a list.
I want to listen to all these albums right now if we had time. All right, let's just recap one more time. I'll go through mine. My number 5 was 10,000 Maniacs MTV Unplugged. Number 4 was the Violent Femmes self-titled track or self-titled album, I should say.
Eponymous, I believe is the term for that,
eponymous. Yes. But Jason sang that one. That's okay because I had a backup there for that slot just in case he did that because I know we have shared memories with that album. And so that was Into the Wild, and with a side note of Pearl Jam, a little side dish of Pearl Jam verses. But Into the Wild by Eddie Vedder. Number 3, Matt and Kim Grand. Number 2, U2 Joshua Tree, and number 1, Bob Seger's greatest hits.
Excellent. I believe this is my order. I did People's Instinctive Travels and The Paths of Rhythm by a Tribe Called Quest. I think then I jumped into the Violent Femmes, then American Beauty by the Grateful Dead, Blind Melon, Soup, and finished off with Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. And I'm going to just jump right into my first honorable mention here. Then.
Well, we're going to hold off on that.
No, is this later? Okay.
Yeah, almost. We're almost done, but we are going to get to the honorable mentions
There's a reason,
in a second.
but I'm teasing. Yeah.
I don't want to go. We're going to each throw out a few because if you needed more music to listen to.
Because what I'm teasing is my first honorable mention was actually my number 1 that I changed during this.
Oh my gosh.
We'll get there.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we're going to get there in literally just about 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay.
I did want to ask you about your location-independent lifestyle that you're building or that you've been building.
Yes.
And I mentioned the Side Hustle Success Guide at the beginning of the show. zerototravel.com/side hustle. If you want to get that free guide, it's part of the Paradise Pack this year, which is an educational bundle of products that are designed to help you live, work, and travel anywhere. It's only available for 1 week, once a year. This is our 6th year doing it. We keep doing it because people keep asking us to do it, and we're trying to give everybody everything they need in terms of education to be able to have that lifestyle where you can work from anywhere. So grab that guide if you'd like, and I'll leave that link in here. But Jay, we were talking, we've been hanging out. I've been here in Colorado with you for a month and a half now. We've been living down the street, but been hanging out, and it's been cool to see how you guys have gone because we've had a very similar path in some ways where we both worked as tour managers in the event marketing industry for a long time. And then we had to figure out, okay, how can we take this off the road, still get the perks and the benefits of being able to travel and be flexible, but not have to have our schedules dictated to us or work for a company. And I think you guys have found a really cool way to do it, and I just wanted to highlight it because you have like sort of a core service that you built, but now, and you're also building up your passion business kind of on the side. You want to just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, I mean, so we kind of started, my wife Kelly and I, we started our marketing company first with GoNuts Marketing, and we started small business marketing, just, the typical building websites, running social media, things like that. And then along the same lines of that, we started our music festival site, which is Festy GoNuts, festygonuts.com. We had sites on that originally to a hobby, perhaps, maybe growing into something more. And now we're into our third year, or finished our third year, kind of starting our going into our fourth year of Festy GoNuts, and we have kind of just realized that our passion which is music festivals, should also kind of overlap with our business. So we're basically learning to now market within music festivals, and we are marketing within music festivals. So we're making our passion of going to music festivals, seeing live music all the time, being part of that lifestyle, and now working with artists, with promoters, with music festivals to combine our skills in marketing with our love of music. And all of this keeps us on the road. I mean, we travel for music festivals. Our marketing company is certainly location independent. We keep it at that, where, we bring on clients that we can always work with from anywhere around the world. And bringing that into our love of music, now taking on clients that are musicians and festivals, and working within that traveling lifestyle also, to kind of just combine our passions and our skills to keep us doing what we want to do while, trying to pay some bills.
Yeah, and I mean, like the fact that you have the core business, which is the marketing company, which is something I imagine like you want to have that to be less and less, and you want to have the festival stuff to be more and more, but you need to earn an income and pay your bills and stuff. So I mean, this is an important point, because sometimes you can get sort of on a one-track mind. We're like, I'm going to build my passion business, and I'm just going to do that. And maybe sometimes, this was the case for me as well, your passion business has to be on the side of what you're doing that actually earns you an income. And you can still do something that earns you an income, a location-dependent income, and you can still build your passion business as a side hustle. So you can be like a full entrepreneur, but still have like a side hustle as an entrepreneur, in a way.
And what I would say with, the side hustles, and we have a lot of other hustles. Like I still do promo
Oh,
gigs, things like that from the,
Hey, talk about what you just did.
I sometimes do promotions for a company called PAX.
No, I was talking about the thing you got at the thrift shop.
Oh, the thrift shop. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's more fun. This is just a fun side hustle. I found that my mom used to collect these things called Yadros that are just these little like figurines, and I used to always hide them when I'd have parties at the house because I was so afraid that my friends would break them because they were actually, worth a couple $100 or something. I found one in a thrift store for like $2, looked it up on Etsy. It was like, I can get $100 for this, and listed it, and I just sold it yesterday. Side hustle. Sold it for $100, $98 profit.
Wow.
These side hustles have been so instrumental for me and for Kelly when we decided that we got off the road touring, and we were not going to go back to work in a full-time job capacity for somebody else. We wanted to make it happen for ourselves. And that struggle for a couple years of how do we not take a promotional tour, because when you do, then you're on the road for 4 months, and all of the work you've done building up your own company kind of gets stagnant because you're working for someone else. How do we pay our bills while building our company, while pursuing our passions? And man, it's all about the side hustle. Like, we do all kinds of gigs. Like, we definitely look at thrift stores and, there's something I can get $50 for and buy for $5. I mean, that's always a nice little thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the keys to that is like learning how to divide up your time properly. So that's part of this guide. So you can pick that up if you'd like. Thanks for sharing that, Jay. It's been really cool to see. I mean, how you guys have built Festy GoNuts, and now you're interviewing some of your heroes and like getting to talk to all these musicians that you've listened to for years. And it's just something magical when you kind of get to work around the stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah, things are starting to
come up.
Things are starting to pop for us. Yeah. And it really feels good that all the work that we've put into this, we're like, now we can see all this work manifesting itself in the fact that this isn't just an expensive hobby. This is actually turning into a business, and that's really awesome.
Yeah, we'll drop the links to your site on the show notes as well. All right, quick hit honorable mentions, my man.
So honorable mention number 1, Dispatch, Bang Bang. It is for me a just sing-along, upbeat, fun album. Personally, I don't even follow Dispatch a lot. Not a huge fan of everything they've done, but that particular album is just, damn, I love it.
Nice. I mentioned the greatest hits album that was on my honorable mention list. Legend, Bob Marley Legend.
Awesome.
I mean,
Great.
how you not put on there? I'll throw another one out there really quick because we mentioned Tribe Called Quest. I had Low End Theory.
Right.
That was the album. And my honorable mention was like anything old school hip hop,
Old-
like from
yeah,
the golden
anything,
era. One in particular, NWA, Straight Outta Compton,
Great.
something I listened to, and that took me to a place as a kid that I didn't know existed and didn't get to go or experience. Like, wow, this is something that's happening in like a neighborhood in my
Right.
country, and so there's different ways to travel, right?
Right, yeah.
And that album was really impactful for me.
I got to throw in White Buffalo, Hogtied Revisited. White
yeah.
Buffalo, if you don't know White Buffalo, check them out. That's all I can say. You will be blown away. And then my number one honorable mention that was going to be my number one, but I took it off the list
What was
because
it?
you already hit up two of them. Pearl Jam 10, probably the
okay.
best road trip album of all time. I took it off the list because I was like, we had enough Pearl Jam already.
Nice,
But,
man.
Yeah,
That's a
Pearl
great
Jam
one.
10.
That's a great one. I'll throw out a couple more. Fleetwood Mac Rumors.
Oh, fantastic.
Just right off the bat there. And Beck. Almost anything by Beck.
Yeah.
Mutations is one that stands out. There's a couple other ones that I can always throw on. So there you have it. A lot of great music, a lot of great fun, a lot of great travel today. Jason, thanks, my man. I know we just high five, but it's always good to high five it out when we're
left-handed
in person.
high five.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on,
You gotta
switch
go
the
with
mics.
it. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. I don't know if the
We've
mic
only
caught
been
that, but-
high-fiving for 35 years. You think we've got
That
better
one
at
hurt
it now,
actually
right?
a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with that. Jay, thank you so much.
Thanks
and,
for having me.
Let's have another music travel episode.
Awesome.
soon. Thanks, man. See ya.
Yeah.
This podcast has been brought to you by ZeroToTravel.com. Ideas and advice to make your travel dreams a reality.